All right, good afternoon, guys. Asta here, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about liquidity and breakout using live chat examples and what I expect to see from Bitcoin in the coming weeks. Right, so let's get into it. As you can see, over the past few weeks, Bitcoin has been rallying. Right, then it aggressively pushed downwards. Right, to the downside. Now, when applying SMC principle, right, this was the breakout structure to the downside. Right, it was a clear breakout structure to the downside in the daily time frame, right? Now you mark this as your breakout structure. Great. Now you can also apply patterns, right? You can also apply patterns. I don't normally trade patterns. I don't trade patterns or simple candlestick closures or bearish flags, bullish flags. But when trading from a broader picture, right? When you're trading from a higher time frame, you tend to mark key levels, levels that have been holding psychological levels are the levels you tend to mark on the higher time frames because they are more precise, right? They are not as noisy as the lower time frame, and they tend to get respected for over a long period of time, right? That's when you mark your key levels from the higher time frames, and then you go down to the lower time frames to execute them using basic market structure. You cannot apply simple market structure principle on higher time frames, right? Now, this was a breakout structure. You can't just say, okay, you want to wait for price to like get back up here, then you'll be taking a look at this other block and then you want to like trade. You wait till the end of 2026 to do that. That's not ideal, right? Of course, market is going to pull back. As far as there is a rally in a market, a pullback will always occur. Why? Because smart money is taking profit and the market needs a rebound or a relief, right? It always has to happen. But not the way it does in lower time frames though. So what I want to discuss in this video is parallel channels, right? Or trends or patterns or whatever you want to call them. Now take a look at this channel that BTC has been respecting. Like it has had one, two, three, four touches, right? It has been a strong channel. And then what happened? It eventually broke down. Now this was a breakout, right? This was a breakout. And as you can see, when market broke below this channel, it kept pushing downwards because it was a strong breakout. Why? Why is it a strong breakout? Because it occurred on the higher time frame, on the daily time frame. You can get something like this on the hourly or the minute time frame, and then you expect a retest and then a push down, and then market will just get back up. Why? Because it's less precise. It doesn't determine the entire sentiment of the market. But in the case of daily and higher time frames, you know that when something like this happens, it's serious. It changes the whole story of the market for a certain period of time, right? That's what you need to understand about breakouts. The higher the time frame, the stronger the breakouts, right? Now, what am I expecting on Bitcoin? As you can see, market broke down, right? It gave us a breakout structure and it also broke the parallel channel that it has been respecting for weeks, right? Now, we want to short Bitcoin, right? We want to short it, but we want to short it from this level, right? Or this, wherever you want to short it from, right? But how do you determine the best place to short it from? Remember how I talked about trading range? If you didn't watch the video, you can simply scroll down and watch it. When market broke structure, our trading range became this high and this low, right? In this box. Then what? You take your fibs, draw out your fibs. And there's something about this fib, right? The more you use it, like the more you get used to it, the lesser you use it because your eyes will naturally you know, just go to the premium or discount level. I'm only drawing this to technically portray the difference between premium and discount because I'm teaching. When I'm using like my own analysis, when I'm analyzing on my own, I don't even need to draw all this. You can simply identify everything with your eyes. But I need to show you that I'm using the fibs. You get this line I just drew, this horizontal line is the 0.5, the 50% level. Anything below this line is discount, and anything above it is premium, right? Now, I expect Bitcoin over the coming days or weeks. I expect Bitcoin to come up here, right? To come up here. Something like this here or here. It depends, you know. And then we can write it down again. Why? As you can see, it's going to be a retest of this broken channel, right? It's going to be a retest of this broken channel. And it also lines up with SMC principle. It's a pullback into an order block and a fair value gap. All this inefficiency created by Bitcoin here, I expect it to get filled, right? What again? It's at the golden zone or above 50% of our Fibonacci levels, right? That's three confluence, which makes it a very, very strong sentiment, right? It's a very strong bias. But before that happens, we're not just going to sit back for months or days and wait for Bitcoin to like get back to this level, right? What are we going to do? That's where liquidity comes in. From the question one of you asked in the previous video, right? This is a short trade that we took with the community yesterday, right? We took it yesterday. Now, look at this. I'm expecting Bitcoin to come down here to this little demand zone, right? This little demand zone. I'm expecting Bitcoin to get back to this reclamation zone, tap it in before moving upwards to that level that we were trying to short from, right? And why am I expecting Bitcoin to come down here? And then why do I want to buy it even though overall sentiment is bearish, right? Now take a look at this. Yeah, this has been a channel. This has been a channel that was being expected by BTC, right? This trend line. And then Bitcoin eventually broke below it, right? And then it's retesting it. But even before that, there's actually another channel here that Bitcoin broke out above the channel and then failed to close above it, right? It failed to retest it. It closed below the channel. Now, what does that signify? If you know your trends or your pattern trading, you know that this is called a fake out, right? Or a failed breakout. Now, anytime something like this happens in the market, it usually just keeps dumping. Even more so that it breaks out in the opposite direction because it has already taken a lot of liquidity from the breakout, right? Now that's one confluence that made me think Bitcoin was going to short, right? Then when it pulled back here, I gave the short. We were still in the short, right? As you can see, we took this days ago, but this new short position, we took it yesterday, right? We took it yesterday, and it gave massive profit. We've already secured some profit. We moved our stop loss to the entry, right? And I'm still expecting BTC to keep dumping down to this level. This level I marked. Why? I know I said it broke out, right? It broke below the trend line. But then what you notice is that there's a lot of liquidity here. Trend line liquidity. I also talked about that in the previous video I dropped on market structure. This is a trend line liquidity, right? It's a trend line liquidity and a parallel channel that got broken. So I expect BTC to keep rallying down, sweeping all this liquidity and come back to this reclamation zone. This reclamation zone, this little demand zone here. I expect BTC to get back to this demand zone before we get any significant push upwards, right? And when that happens, we'll go back to the higher time frame, and then you can see this equal highs. There's a lot of liquidity at this level, and then I expect Bitcoin to come back up here, take out the liquidity above it, get back to this zone, fill in all this inefficiency, mitigate it, and then we look for a confirmation, and then we ride Bitcoin downwards, right? It all depends on what price gives us. If Bitcoin should reverse from this current level and go up, fine. We can still reevaluate our process. We can still get back to the market. And if it plays out just like I'm expecting to play out, then Voda will just follow our plan. That's all. As you know, Trading is a waiting game, it's an observation game. You just wait and see. You answer to market, you don't force market or you don't try to predict market. You just analyze, look at what market is telling you. You know, every chart tells a story. You now evaluate it, take your trade and get out, right? So this is what I'm expecting on Bitcoin over the coming weeks. I don't know. I'm seeing something similar on Ethereum too. And we took Ethereum yesterday. We analyzed that one live. We took it. Okay, let me just show you something. As you can see, we took it live yesterday, last night, right? When it tapped the parallel channel and give a change of character on the lower time frame, we took it from this other block and then we hit TP this morning, right? So that's the essence of knowing everything about key levels. As you can see, you didn't use basic market structure to trade it from this level. We didn't use normal breakout structure, pullback breakout structure. We identified key levels on the higher time frame, and then we came down to the lower time frame and then used the basic market structure principle to get our breakout structure, change of character, pullback, and then continuation, right? You don't just apply market structure to a higher time frame. It won't work. You just confuse yourself. You need to understand key levels, you know, mitigation of inefficiencies, order blocks, demand and supply, reclamations, you know, you need to know daily candle closes. Well, I think that's it. I think I've answered the question on how liquidity works, how to target liquidity, and what breakouts are and how to trade them. So yeah, I think that's all. If there's anything else you need, this chat is messy. Anyways, if there's anything else you need, you can drop it in the comment section and we'll make another video, right? As we do every Friday. I drop new videos every Friday explaining concepts that confuse most traders. And yeah, it has been helping a lot of people. I've been getting positive reviews and I'm happy about that. So yeah, we'll continue dropping new videos every Friday and short videos daily. And if you want to be getting these signals live from me, you can click the link in our profile to take you to our Telegram. You can join our community, it's free, and then you'll be getting updates on these kind of trades before they happen, right? You know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, it takes a lot of skill and precision to trade them. There's a lot of liquidity hunting in trading Bitcoin and Ethereum. Although the liquidity is pretty obvious on BTC, on gold, I actually had something on gold since last night. I was expecting market to tick out this low, right? We're actually debating with a famous trader on this level, right? We were talking about getting longs from this level when gold came down here. But like I said, you identify simple market structure principle when trading within your key level, right? It was simple. I just marked my breakout structure and my change of character, right? My change of character. And then I expected market to take out this low as internal range liquidity, tap into this other block here, and then move up. As you can see, it's what happened, right? So yeah, that's just one of many principles that made me think gold was going to react from this level. And when we go to the higher time frame, there's something else I'm seeing on gold. There's a reason why I'm expecting a rebound from gold, right? Even though it's going to be slow, it's not going to happen anytime soon, but I'm expecting a rebound from gold. There's a reason, and I might talk about that in another video, right? But yeah, just keep it in mind. And there's CPI today that's going to affect gold. So yeah, CPI today at night for Australian dollar. We're going to see. Well, I think that's all for today. If you enjoyed this class and everything, feel free to subscribe, turn on the notification bells, like, and comment what concept you want me to explain next. Till then, peace out.